Genre: realistic fiction. Compare texts. Read about how one girl comes up with a creative use of technology to solve a problem. Time to invent. Monday, 8:05 a.m. Lydia, I thought you were up already, but you've slept through your alarm. Lydia opened her eyes to find her mom standing over her bed. In the background, she heard a faint beeping. Rubbing her eyes, Lydia sat up and read the time on her alarm clock. 8:05. Sorry, Mom, she said, leaping out of bed and quickly throwing on her clothes. I know this was the first time trying to get up on your own, her mom said, but I don't want you to be late for school. The alarm was just on too low, Lydia told her, trying to hide her disappointment that her plan hadn't worked. She had finally convinced her mom to let her try to get up on her own. After all, she was in the 5th grade. But now Lydia realized she would have to prove she could. Lydia had to rush through breakfast to make the bus. As she headed out the door, she called to her mom. I promise I'll get up on time tomorrow. But as she boarded the bus, she wondered if she would. Monday, 8 p.m. That night, after much pleading from Lydia, her mom agreed to let her have another try. Not wanting to take any chances that she'd sleep through the alarm, she turned the volume on the alarm up, way up. It didn't seem like the most soothing way to wake up, but Lydia was pretty sure it would do the trick. Tuesday, 7:50 a.m. The next morning, a piercing beeping echoed through her room, jolting her awake. While Lydia fumbled with the off button on the alarm, her mother came running into the room with her hands over her ears. What is that awful noise? Her mother cried. Lydia hit the alarm off. Well, at least I am up on time, she mumbled with embarrassment. Her mother gave her an exasperated look. And so is the whole neighborhood. Although Lydia made it to the bus on time that day, she knew her mother would never stand for that every morning. If she was going to convince her mom, she would have to think of a better way to get herself up. Tuesday, 3:30 p.m. When Lydia got home from school that day, her mother asked Lydia to help her find her old cell phone. I got a new one this afternoon. I want to give you my old one, but I can't find it anywhere. Her mother dialed her old number while Lydia searched the house. In the kitchen, she heard a muffled rattle coming from a drawer. Lydia opened the drawer, and there, shaking among the pens and pads of paper, was her mother's cell phone. Suddenly, Lydia had a breakthrough. Mom, I found it, she said, answering the phone. And will you give me one more chance to wake myself up tomorrow? That afternoon, Lydia figured out how to set the phone alarm to vibrate. Then she went to the kitchen and looked through the recycling bin. She found a metal coffee can and matching lid, washed them out, and took them upstairs. She set the phone alarm to vibrate, put the phone in the coffee can, and covered it with the lid. She counted the seconds until the alarm went off. 3, 2, 1. Suddenly, the can rattled and shook as the phone vibrated against it. She listened and envisioned herself waking up to the noise. The sound was much louder than it had been in the drawer, she thought, but not so loud that it could be heard by anyone else. More important, she asked herself, was it loud enough to get her up in the morning? There was only one way to find out. Tuesday, 8:30 p.m. Before bed that night, Lydia set her phone alarm for 7:50 a.m. and put the phone in the metal can. As she covered it with the lid, she thought, why hasn't anyone thought of this before? It's so simple. Then a doubting thought crept into her head. What if it didn't work? She had tested it, but she hadn't been asleep. She hoped it would not fail, She stayed up wondering if it would work. Finally, she drifted off to sleep. Wednesday, 7:50 a.m. The next morning, a rattle awakened her. She waited to see if the noise disturbed her mother, but the house was silent. Over breakfast, Lydia showed her mother her invention. The can rattled on the table. "What a clever idea! I've never seen anything like it," her mother exclaimed. "Not only have you proved you can get up on your own, but you've become an inventor as well." Lydia beamed with pride.